All right. Welcome to a impromptu vid that wasn't my idea. It was my co-host here, Matt Dennion. How are you
Hey,
tonight?
everybody. Glad to see you guys again.
Yep. So Matt, you've been reading DCKO, and you came to me with a video idea. You take the wheel on this one.
Sure. You and I have been talking that not just the title of this storyline, but the setup for it seems like a fighting game. And we know NetherRealm is working on another fighting game that doesn't appear to be Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of speculation it could be a new Injustice, but we've also thought that we know James Gunn is doing a lot of overseeing of everything DC outside of the comics really now. And he's kind of against the evil Superman. So I don't know that we'll get another Injustice, but I feel like DCKO could be like a fighting game title that could work. They can incorporate some stuff into it. It already has a built-in storyline. And so what I was just doing here, I just finished reading issue number 4 and thought, how would this work if we were to use MK1 as like a template? And when I looked at the number of fighters that were there, they basically did like a 22 fighter base roster and then bumped it up to 35 of the DLC. And when I was looking at like the characters that are not just little more than cannon fodder, characters that actually do something in DCKO, as well as most of the guests we got in the boss battle, you could certainly make a case it comes out pretty close to that being a roster. So I had like kind of just for fun put one together and sent it to you and said, hey, what do you think of this if there was a fighting game roster for DCKO? And you're like, oh, I kind of dig it. And said, you want to do a video? And I was like, sure. So let's do this and have some fun.
Yeah. So DCKO, you are right, does feel like it could work easily as a video, as a boss battle, not boss battle, but a fighting game in general. I I think like out of any DC event you could think of, this one really lends itself to being a video game because I feel like that's what Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder wanted from the get go.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. I think would be really cool is like maybe not mention the. I think you could actually do this story mode and not bother with the initiative that's going alongside the all in initiative at the moment. You can just say this was just an event that happened. Darkseid is attacking, and who's going to be the new Omega King.
Right, exactly. I think you do that without the extra stuff around it. Just that's your story for the video game, and you can roll with it from there.
Yeah. I think what's so would we mention the absolute universe and just say like, oh, this is a universe Darkseid made on the side, or would you want to
Yeah,
like go
totally. And again, I'll refer back to MK1 where you do get to the point where you kind of run into some of the MK characters that are copies of them. So I think it's even a similar setup to that if you've played the MK1 all the way through, right?
right? So here's what I'm thinking is I would just keep the roster as we saw in the comic, but I'm worried like if they did make this an actual game, would they change some things for more like character value? Would they change Jay to Wally? Would they change Guy to like John or Hal? Or because I feel like like first off they want to prop up Guy. I think he'd be safe, but
Yes.
Jay, I feel like I'm worried they would change him. Same with a few other characters that probably they wouldn't think are popular enough. But that's what makes DCKO so interesting because a lot of characters you didn't think would get in got in.
Yes. And to answer your question, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Guy was surprisingly popular in the Superman movie. Like I know there's some people who Guy is their favorite Green Lantern.
He's my favorite Lantern.
Yeah. So there you go. So and I thought Nathan Fillion did a great job. So I think you do it. I do think Jay could make it in this time as opposed to Barry or Wally. And I think part of that would be like he's visually different from the Flash, like that was Ezra Miller, even, so like they kind of want to move away from that. So I could see Jay making it in based on that.
Yeah. Do you think there would be any characters they would change, or do you think they would keep the roster as is? Because I'm like, you have Etrigan, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Fire. The only ones I could really see them altering are probably Firestorm and Captain Atom.
Yes, I'd agree with that. I could see them maybe being changed. The other one that comes to mind is Giganta. They haven't really done a really giant character yet. And we saw like it's not going to be the same type of game, but in the failed multiverses that the Iron Giant was very problematic given his size.
Yeah.
So I don't think Giganta would make it. But we could see, like you just said, fighters we haven't seen in other Injustice games that we'd love to see. Etrigan. I mean, I know you and I have wanted Etrigan forever. Like, that would be fantastic. King Shark has not been in a fighting game yet. He could be a fun one. Batwoman is, despite her TV show, the comics remain fairly popular. So that I could see her making in there. Black Lightning as well could be an interesting one to put in. I know we've all wanted Static for a long time, but I feel like Black Lightning could squeeze in there. I also think they're different enough and they're certainly popular enough that you could do the Absolute Trinity as separate fighters. Like, they have different enough skill sets, powers, and designs that you could still have the DC Trinity and the Absolute Trinity. What do you think of that suggestion?
I think it's not a bad idea. My thing is probably save them to be DLC for like season 1 or 2 pass, like you kind of suggested. Now, if we were to alter some of the characters, I would propose the only one the two I'd really change are Giganta, because that's problematic, as you said, and Firestorm, because we have 2 atomic characters. And I know someone's going to be like, well, we have like 5 Batman characters, but I'm like, I forgive the Bat family. I do hear what people are saying. There is a little too much of Bat family, sure. Dennion, Jason, Batman, and Batwoman, but they all have different variants, and I think they could be unique enough. So the character I think I would switch out Firestorm with is Icon from Milestone.
Icon would be a good one to switch it out from. I could see that. He'd be a lot of fun. Another Superman type character, but certainly different enough. I imagine his playstyle would be similar to Omni-Man from MK1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was kind of my thought, is make it a lot very much like Omni-Man's fight style.
Yeah. Other newer characters I think would be a blast. They can work. Vixen, who we haven't seen in one, could be a lot of fun. Could have that Beast Boy type power set that they've been looking for, but without having to do all the changes to her. You can just kind of have like a aura form around her if you switch attack mode, I was thinking.
Oh, that's a good one. I think it would be cool if we switched out Giganta for another Wonder Woman villain. I wasn't thinking Cheetah. I was kind of thinking this is going to be a little interesting one. I was going to say Dr. Poison.
That would be cool, because I see a different moveset there too would be fun. So I could see that being the case as well.
Yeah. So how would you do, each round is different. So how would you incorporate like each issue's different rounds and the different changes to them?
So I think that'd have to be like in the story mode. They would have to do that. And for instance, so the first mode is kind of like a free-for-all. So I think you could do that one, just you play a different character and how they make it through that free-for-all in the story mode, right? The second round was interesting, and this could be where you unlock alternate skins, and that the fighters got to choose a different version of themselves in each round. So do like a best 2 out of 3. So you for instance, slight spoilers for the comic here. You do like Superman versus Captain Atom, and the first round they kind of more or less fighting themselves, but then Superman chooses to be Superman 1,000,000. So you could have it where if you make it that far and you complete that fight as Superman, you unlock the Superman 1,000,000 skin. Does that make sense? Because we know skins are fun, and that would be a good opportunity to start unlocking them, I feel like.
Yeah.
Then the third round, and again, this is why it screams game to me. It happened where the fighters got to choose who are remaining to bring back another fighter to help them out, which was very similar to the cameo fighters in MK1. So I could see it like that, whereas you progress in the story, then that part of the story, you're using some of those cameo fighters, which could be an opportunity to bring in other characters too who didn't make the cut, again, like MK1.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I would also add that, and this would probably get ruined by corporate greed, unfortunately, that the round where they have to find certain objects and items to help power them up, like the Atom's belt, or
yes.
Or like Hawkman's mace and things like that. You could, if one level would be trying to get those weapons, but it would probably be you'd have to buy others, right? They would microtransaction the hell out of that.
Yeah, I would think that would be the case there for sure. Yeah. I guess they could do a stage sort of Gosh, it wasn't MK1, but there's been other ones that had like we had to like go into the realm and find stuff and scavenge hunt. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
I guess they,
Shang Tsung's Island
so yes,
from
yeah. They could do like that as like an offshoot. Um, would be fun. And then of course you set it up where Darkseid's obviously your ultimate boss, and he's like the Omega Darkseid, you know.
yeah, like the MK9 Shao Kahn.
Right.
Just make you rage quit.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine he'd be a huge pain. So what do you think for DLC? I do like the idea of the Absolute Trinity being in DLC, because again, their powers are so different. Like Superman's got like the cape that is like the Spawn cape. Batman's like a hulking giant with an axe. Wonder Woman has like shape changing abilities and is missing an arm. You know, like there's fun things you can do. And then of course, you and I had both said this. We felt like the boss battle one-off was sort of teasing potential guest fighters as well.
Yeah, it definitely felt like they were testing the waters for like for guest characters for Injustice 3 or whatever they're going to plan next. Which I think that's what's going to happen. I'm looking through your list right now because you came up with this really awesome list for DLC. Where we're talking about DLC 1, Plastic Man, Vixen, Connor Hawk, Red Sonja, Samantha Strong, and Scorpion. I am curious. Connor Hawk was in the main roster. Why did you put him in, as DLC?
Just trying to spread it out a little bit. Plus, because also Green Arrows plays such a pivotal part in the first Injustices, and Connor Hawk is different. Again, it's like we said before, we're getting different variations of the characters. So, and then I thought you would need like some characters in the DLCs who are also popular, but I'd fine to switch Connor Hawk out from somebody else there.
Yeah,
I just thought he had to make it in. And when I was looking at the initial roster, I thought, well, who could we shift that would be fun? And people would want. I feel like if Green Arrow wasn't in the next fighting game, because I know he's a lot of people's mains in the two Injustices, have the variant Connor Hawk in the DLC, but he could certainly be in the main roster, no problem.
Yeah, I actually want to do a quick sidebar real fast regarding a cool little thing we could put in the game.
Sure.
The whole thing of like gathering Omega energy throughout the story. Yes. So what if we used like during fights, you would have a little bar at like a little energy bar, and that's you gathering Omega energy. So you could unleash it like a fighting move in Injustice, or use it to like enhance or that rage mode from MK versus DC.
Oh, I was thinking the rage mode from MK versus DC, which I know is not a favorite game, but it's a great idea to build up your meter for the super moves. Yeah, I could definitely see that. We're like in all the Injustices, you have to build up that like meter for the super move. So I could definitely see that. But honestly, the dynamic you'd mentioned from the MK versus DC would fit the storyline better in terms of like the Omega energy. So I could see that working. And so yeah, it's a great idea. And then in terms of like the guests, I thought Red Sonja, we just got Conan, so they could basically use the same template and just make it basically the female version of Conan, right?
Yeah.
And then Samantha Strong, I think is just too off the wall not to use and would be fun. What do you think about that one?
I think it's a solid one. I think that character and that comic has more than enough proven that it could work. And there'd be enough following behind that character to be like, not a lot of people would be against it.
Right. I don't see people being like, oh God, she made it in. I think she was like an interesting one to put into the boss battle.
Yeah. The one that everyone's going to have to argue is Annabelle.
Yeah. You had a great idea for Annabelle, though. Why don't you put that out there for everybody?
So my idea for Annabelle was basically Annabelle's like a shell for this demon named Malthus. So basically in here, like Annabelle would almost be like a summoning character where Malthus comes out of the doll to fight.
Yeah, that would be cool. You also had a good idea for a stage related to her as well, I thought.
Yeah. The stage is basically the Warren house. Like you could just smash your way into the house and use pick up a cursed object, and like a demon or a dark spirit comes out. And this could be a cool reference to like La Llorona or the
Nun.
Yeah, the Nun, or what is it? The Crooked Man.
The Crooked Man. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. There could even be a moment where you like kick your opponent into that cursed room, and all the spirits come out, and just start beating the shit out of your opponent,
Yeah,
and throw him back
exactly
out.
when you said it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, when you mentioned it, I was like, I was going to mention the stage, but I was like, oh yeah, the Malthus thing, because someone's going to ask, why is Annabelle a guest character? How would you make that work?
No, I think it's a great idea. And then I was thinking, kind of for that third set of or that last set of DLC, again using MK as sort of like the base. One of the DCs I just kind of threw in here because I needed one, but I thought fun ones first would be Booster Gold because he does play a big role in this, and I feel like he's a fun enough character, even or a disturbed enough character based on the comics going to throw in here and a fan favorite enough that we haven't seen before, right?
Yeah.
The other one I thought would be the Time Trapper Doomsday, who plays a big role and would be at least visually different and also power-wise different from the sort of basically Hulk Doomsday we've seen in other games.
Yeah. I think it would be kind of cool if like we used Omega Energy build up for him. When he goes rage mode, he turns and he like rips his cloak off, and it's actual Doomsday.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's a great idea. Then for the guests, the two I thought that would be the most fun here, one would be Vampirella, who like is just a ton of fun in any comic she's in, and I think definitely could fit in this lineup. And then I think Sabrina the Teenage Witch could be a lot of fun too. You know, she didn't do much in the comic, like could be a fun character to put in here.
I think it would be kind of cool if we did Sabrina, since it was supposed to be like Chilling Adventures Sabrina. Would be kind of cool as like she could summon as like a move. She could summon Werewolf Jughead and Vampironica.
That would be a very fun nod. Yeah, I'd be in for that. So the question I kept coming back to for the DLCs was, I know you and I talked before, and we thought for sure Johnny Cage was a lock, but the fact that the two ninjas appear in the boss battle, do you think that would mean that they would be them, the Sub-Zero Scorpion, or do they make that change and go Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, or Johnny Cage, somebody else, so you don't get the two Sonyas?
I would say it'd be a middle, or it would be Johnny Cage and
You're frozen on my end.
You always got to show the yeah. Sorry, you still there?
That's right. You'd split down the middle, Johnny Cage and who?
I said I'd split it between Johnny and Scorpion, just to have like your main character be represented from your main game.
Right, and he hasn't been in since Injustice 1, so it's been a decade plus. I think you're good there. So I could see them making it. I think you and I both agreed no Homelander since we just got him, right?
Yeah. I will say that, like, I would say, like, switch out Homelander. My pick would probably be, I would actually go to Wildstorm. I would actually say, like, Mr. Majestic.
That would be a good pick. Yeah, to switch him out there because the power set's different. Or that could be a nice spot for Icon to take, like you'd mentioned before.
Yeah. Oh, another character, but no one would go for it. No, because I'm apparently the only person who's read this comic. The Plutonian from Mark Waid's Irredeemable.
I have read that. That's not a bad pick either. The only other one I could think of that would be like a joke character, maybe, but I don't know if I like it a ton, would be one of the wrestlers from the Green Lantern special where we had like that intergalactic wrestling thing come in. But I don't think it's popular enough. It'd be fun maybe as a joke, but I don't know if it's popular enough for DLC.
Yeah. Do you think also, like, do you think they would go the multiverses route and have like because we thought a damn Looney Tunes character was going to show up in that comic?
Yeah, it didn't. I don't think that they would at this point. I think they would kind of stick to what they have. If they can get, first of all, let's just throw it out there. If they were to get the guests that were suggested, at least by me, with like Red Sonja, Vampirella, Samantha Strong, and Sabrina, it would finally get people off NetherRealm's back. Although I agree with this sentiment. How about a female DLC? And they're like, fine, you get 4. You just get 4 of them. But I think they'd be 4 pretty popular ones.
Yeah. It would actually be kind of fun also if we were hypothetically to get this game, get the actress from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina to voice the character.
That would be great. Do you think we would get the characters from, or the voices rather, from the new DC universe? That was like what James Gunn had suggested before. So we get like Jason Momoa Lobo type of thing.
I don't know if they could get like Momoa to do the NetherRealm only has so much money. I mean, Warner Brothers is only to shell out so much money for them. So I would say they'd probably get like John DiMaggio or like a Scott McNeil or someone along that range.
Yeah, they got plenty of good voice actors who can certainly do those roles. Nobody's going to complain if George Newbern comes back to do Superman again, right?
Like, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would be hard because now you have to find a new Batman, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And a new Joker too, because Mark's not going to do it.
Right. Actually, I thought the guy who did Cape Crusader was really good.
Oh yeah, he's good. I would not be opposed to more Bruce Greenwood.
No, Bruce Green was always fantastic as Batman. So those would be great too. And I can see this happening, and I would like if we get some of those characters that we haven't gotten in fighting games yet. Like we said, the Etrigans, the Starros, right? The Vixens. I think this would be really cool additions.
Yeah, I know someone's also going to say, but Vixen was in Injustice too. She was a skin, okay?
Yeah, she was just a skin, right? So
yeah, she was she was an alternate cheetah skin.
Yeah, I'm talking about Vixen as like an actual character with like her actual powers, you know?
Yeah.
Would be fun. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully this would come around. I mean, I love fighting games. I know you're a fan of fighting games too. So I would love to see something like this happen. I feel like that could be a fun roster with a fun story. And it certainly has a feel that this is something they could be building towards.
It does. Like, I would not be shocked if they were, because they're going to do something, whether Absolute Universe already is taking off. So they want to market that even more. I'm convinced they're going to do an animated film. I don't think they'll do a live action. I think it will definitely be an animated Absolute Batman film.
For sure. I can't see them not doing it as popular as it is. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Absolute is selling like crazy and really, pushing everybody. It's pushing everybody with the way Absolute's selling. It's been a good line. It really has.
Yeah.
So,
and also DCKO has just been selling like crazy.
Right. So why not capitalize on it where you can? And as far as the guests go, half of them were like WB properties, and they seem to have a good relationship with Dynamite right now, right? For some of those other characters.
And IDW and Archie as well.
Yeah. So I think this is a good chance it's a thing. And they seem to be doing a little bit better with like planning ahead. So to do a comic that leads into a video game makes more sense than just doing a video game kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think also that this also, I think, takes a lot of pressure off of Injustice 3. Because that game probably still needs a little work. Because again, like you kind of theorized that MK1 was meant to be Injustice 3, but then they got roped into doing MK1.
Right. I think this could be a nice pivot from them for them.
Absolutely, I think that's a good idea, and it does leave open that maybe we could get maybe this could turn into a new franchise for a DC fighting game. I mean, you have to imagine because
sure, Marvel's got plenty of.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, you're good.
I was just going to say that Marvel's new fighting game is coming out, and that one's already. Are people already saying like that's probably going to take people by storm?
Right. You got that one coming out. But wants a piece of that pie.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I don't really have anything else to this. Do you, Matt?
No, I don't think so. I think we had kind of covered the vast majority of it, but I'd love to hear what the fans think of this idea, or characters they think it would be fun to see make it in from the event. Particularly, I'd like to see if any of our listeners like the idea of like the Jay Garrick, the Guy Gardner, their Connor Hawk, sort of like the different versions of some of the heroes that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what everyone has to say about this, and I do wonder if people would like be willing to change the roster or like keep it as is, as well as like if they'd be like, well, maybe the guest characters don't have to be from the game, maybe they could be something else. And we're not saying like it has to be what we said. It's we're throwing this out to you, like go nuts, blue sky the shit out of this.
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah. But yeah, Matt, thank you so much for coming to me with this. This was a really cool idea that just was spur of the moment, and I'm always happy to hang out with you, man.
Yeah, me too. I love hanging out with you. Thank you for indulging me with doing a video on this. So I will. I'll see you later, and I'll see everybody else later soon too. I'm sure.
All right. Until then, you guys tell us in the comments below, how would you do a DCKO fighting game? Just comment below, let us know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.